Well, hello everyone, Nate Smith here today with Charlie Gregg and Alex Walcott. We're looking at doing an update on the EVER.V drilling. There was a news release last week, and yeah, Alex and Charlie made some time here to go into some further detail. So thanks for joining me here today, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Nate.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, that's great. So we're a good chunk into the season here so far, and the update that you had there, in the way of anything with regards to assays, but some great details there on the status update on the drilling, as well as some additional on the exploration into the north. So looking forward to hearing some of that. And then you had a 3D model there that you guys are working with is that Mining Hub?
Yeah, we're using Mining Hub. It seems to actually, it's a nice little platform to put everything together with, and it's actually really useful to show off the information we're getting out of it and where our holes are. It's actually quite an interactive way of doing things, so we're pretty happy with it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that yeah, any level and all levels, they're developing additional information presentation for retail or otherwise investors is great. So I think that's an awesome package you guys put together with them, and shout out to them.
Yeah, no, okay. It's great. We managed to put all our stuff into it, so it's so far working quite nicely.
You can accept it. That's great. Yeah, so let's kick it off here with a shout out to the team there. So hopefully everybody's happy and healthy, and the team's up there rocking and rolling. Any feedback from the team there as of today?
Everyone seems happy.
Yeah, Taylor Quinn was just out on a break. He's a project manager, and he's en route back up there. And the guys are holding the fort, and more than holding the fort. He's anxious to get back up there. FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the last update there, with the touch base with Taylor there, his thesis there on the actual project itself, is that gone to publication yet? Is that available to people online?
Not quite. I know some people are anxious to get it, and that's partly what he was doing on his quote unquote break was doing the final corrections. I spoke to him yesterday. In fact, I drove him to the airport in Kelowna yesterday morning, first thing, and yeah, he was gonna get to PG, hunker down in his hotel and try and finish it off. I expect that he's very, very close, but he doesn't want to put out the the finished product in a PDF until it passes through his thesis supervisor. So he's defended successfully, etc. It's just the final changes before it actually gets submitted to the university in final format. So he wants to wait till that's done. It sounded like it was going to get finished on the break, but Taylor's very particular about everything he does, and that is a great thing, let me tell you. But yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to finish the deal.
That's all right. Yeah, no, stay tuned for when that's released. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, okay. We'll let you know.
Thanks, Charlie. So in the details of the release there, it sounds like 6 holes are completed off of 2 pads. So that's 3 and 3, right? Off of each of those pads that were constructed, and you guys are on to the third pad constructed. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're currently on the 3rd pad right now. So we basically put those 2 fences across the pads 1 and 2, and then basically moved over to pad 3. Well, we are actually drilling the first hole when the news release went out on pad 3. So we're just doing the fan there, and we've been just systematically doing what we said we were going to do.
That's great. And then there's some details here that you've actually hit the target area, the structural zone that we have known from hosting the hits there in 2021. So what levels have this validated your guys' initial thesis? Is this now confirmed? You're expecting that these further step outs will continue along? Or what's your thoughts on the initial thesis table? Is it maybe a little further back or further forward?
I think we're going to stick with our plan right now. I mean, everything seems to be working the way we want it. So nothing's changed in the proposed drill program. So we're just going to keep plugging away and do the next pad as we were talked about. So it seems to be holding true so far. So we'll see. But of course, we don't have any numbers. I mean, rocks always look interesting, but you never know until you get the assays.
Yeah. My mind's going more towards like the pierce points where it hit, though, landed where you guys expected. And the intervals hit were largely in line with what you were seeing in the previous.
I think so, fairly close to what we were kind of coming up with. So
okay.
So, but once again, it's interesting looking, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the assays to come out.
Yeah.
And then on that note, like as far as detailing with the assays, are you guys going to put out visuals for it afterwards as well with the release?
We haven't so far.
Yeah.
Alex and I are kind of on opposite sides of the fence that way. a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah, we haven't so far, so I think we probably won't. All I can say is we're encouraged by what we see, right? But
Yeah.
you just never know with a gold system, and it's a gold silver system. We're encouraged. I think that's the way you'd put at it, and it encourages us to continue with the plan and not do too much wildcatting. So I would take it as a good sign.
And when we come down to visuals, like when we actually do get the assays, we'll put the photos with it. There's no problem doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, with the assays. Perfect. Yeah,
that's
because I think there was some that were detailed previously, but no, it'd be great to see what these look like in comparison to other with the assays, of course. So
fair enough.
There's any changes there. What
But
about,
we won't put visuals out before the assays.
No, I can accept that. I endorse that actually. It's a good way to do it. Yeah. Okay, so where's the team setting up the next pad there? Is that to the north or is that to the south?
We're going to go to the southeast there.
Okay.
So we're just kind of jumping back and forth, and basically, I mean, they're pretty small hops, so we're just kind of testing the ends and keep it just expanding as we go.
Okay, and then there's approximately 10 to 12 holes left. So are we talking another 3 more pads total, or more or less? What do you think?
We're probably getting towards both the probably 70% mark of our drilling is done now. So we probably are only going to have maybe one more, maybe 2 pads.
Okay. And the step outs are still in around that 50 to 75 meter range?
Yep.
Right. And then the whole target depths for those were in around 250 to 300 meters range, or are you guys pushing deeper than that on any of these holes?
No, we haven't pushed any deeper than that. We're pretty well staying within the same realm.
Okay. All right. And then, coming back to the visuals you guys have reported on, was there any details that you could share around like the level of veining, level of alteration? Is it in line with what you guys seen previously, more so or less so? Like, what are the visuals they're telling you to date? Is the system moving north, or are you looking to target it, like you said, going south? What are the thoughts there?
It pretty well kind of following the plan we've came and laid out, just stepping it back to the northeast there and kind of drilling back into it and kind of drilling to the southwest. And it seems to be holding fairly well together. Alteration looks interesting, encouraging. So same with the basic mineralization in the holes, right?
Right. Is there anything to date that's going to maybe impact Taylor's thesis work that he's done, or is it largely holding intact still?
I don't know, Charlie.
I'm sort of switching my mic on and off because there's guys outside, one with the weed eater and one with the big lawnmower going by, and so sorry about that. I'm kind of listening in, but at the same time, kind of alerted by the noise of these machines. Anyway, I didn't fully catch that last reference to Taylor's thesis.
Yeah, just has there been any results to date that may have impacted Taylor's original thesis that he's laid out, or what? Any take there?
No, I don't think so. There seems to be this one host rock, this monzonitic unit that seems to host a lot of the veins, and that seems to be in there, and they're following that. Again, he interpreted it as an intrusion into the Tutagon Formation host rocks, and there's really no data to weigh on whether that was the case or not, or whether it's alteration. I take that as a great sign. When you have enough alteration that you kind of obscure the primary relationships, I think it's a good thing. So we're sort of still seeing that and still not resolving that completely. So the guts of the system, are a little bit inconclusive in terms of the relationships amongst the different host lithologies. So, some complication, that's a good thing. Okay.
Well, let's switch gears here and touch base on the drone magnetics and LiDAR work that you guys have been able to share to date. So what is the level of that LiDAR and magnetic work with the drone level been flown on strike for the GL1 target? Is that still holding around that 1.7 kilometers, or have you been able to take that and stretch it further now? What's the update there with the results now in hand from those?
Well, it's pretty tough. It was pretty rugged terrain. So, a lot of the airborne, when they coming off the hilltop there, you didn't get nailed down. So we actually did some fairly low level work. So 20 meter, I think it was about 20 meters off the ground and 25 meter line spacing, if I remember what I did. And then basically it shows quite a nice mag low sitting around where the mineralization sits, but it does show the mag extending off as you saw on the mining hub. I'm not sure if you ever saw that in there. If you click on the zone 1 with drone TMI, it'll actually show you it. So we're actually probably I'm heading back up there and I'm probably gonna extend the survey out in both directions just to see what else we can find out of it. Because there is a couple lows I'd like to follow up on. And that you do see quite a bit of mag destruction where we have the mineralization. So it does seem to be sitting quite nicely and nestling things together and tracking our resistivity feature we have historically. So
yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question.
How many companies, how many junior companies have their CEO actually flying the drone LiDAR and mag survey? You know, I mean, multitasking.
Multitasking. Yeah, cost effective, right? There's no point in bringing someone else in.
You just want to have some time flying the drone is what I'm hearing.
Do you know how stressful it is flying a drone?
With that equipment on there, I suspect a little bit more so. Yeah.
When you crash them, and trust me, I've crashed quite a few. It's very painful.
That's bad for the job. You got that experience. Crash time.
Exactly.
But sorry, you touched on something there around the IP resistivity chargeability features that you guys have mapped out to date. Are you seeing it correlate to that to some extent, or is it deviating wildly from there?
No, it's actually correlating quite nicely with it. So it's tracking that nice resistivity low right down the axis of it. So it's actually quite encouraging. So we're going to extend it out. I mean, we also got some mobile MT done up here earlier in the year, as we talked about in the news release. So we're just kind of cutting through some of the 2D sections and 3D inversions on that. So we're just doing a couple different reiterations, just changing some of the parameters to try fit it a little better, but it's showing some nice resistivity features also. So the system may be quite a bit bigger. I mean, whether or not it's mineralized, it's always such a challenge to see, but what we're looking at where the corridor is, does look, it might be a fair size. So pretty well close to that 2K mark, maybe plus.
Okay. And in the release there too, you detailed there was additional field mapping going on as well as geochem sampling. Is that along that extension of where you guys are looking at targeting this expanded drone program on?
Well, there really isn't a lot of, exposure there, and Taylor's covered that, and if there's any more exposure up there, I'm damn sure he's looking at it, because it's very close to camp too, right? So it's easy to get to. Most of the field mapping, we have had a few folks up there doing a bit of field mapping, but that's mainly in the north thing. So no, we haven't really done a lot more that way. And I don't think it's necessary. We're relying on geophysics. And one note with that geophysics, which I think is pretty cool, is Alex is laughing. But one of the things that we did in 2021 when we were up there, I wasn't there at that time, but we were trying to refly the aero mag at a low level with the chopper, and we were able to do it on the back side, and we thought we'd done the whole survey, but we hadn't done the front side, which is where the GL1 zone was. So we never had a chance to do that, and flying the the drone mag is exactly what we were sort of trying to do before, and so it has been good to do that, and it kind of validated what we wanted to do but weren't able to do the last time we were up there 5 years ago. So it's just it's a funny thing how that works out.
Yeah, it sounds like you're filling in some of the puzzle pieces there that you didn't necessarily collect in. So that's great. Yeah. And it sounds like it's fairly lightweight and portable, such that you guys can take it down and set back up quite a bit here. So that's great to hear too.
Yeah, no, it works out nicely. And basically we had a lot of really nice imagery also. I mean, the drone imagery is extremely high resolution. So Taylor's going to look through that, and because he's looked on the map, just put 2 + 2 together also. So, I mean, we got fairly detailed, the photography, I mean, it's insane what you can do on the backside. You can see all the structures. It's pretty wild, actually.
Well, that's excellent. Yeah, I look forward to hearing more on that. Okay, let's shift gears here to talk about the mobile MT. So yeah, you said that study has concluded now as well. When can we expect the results there from the inversion modeling being developed? Are you guys going to be sharing that, or
we'll probably put some select sections out with it? I mean, it does actually seem to be honoring some of the geology we're seeing. So we will basically put probably some select sections out when we get further along here. But the entire data set will probably just be released in an assessment report when he comes out. But that's about it. But we will put basically, obviously, when things are relevant, we will actually show them.
Right. And so, yeah, you flew that over both GL1 or the whole property, right?
Whole property, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then what about around the north area? You mentioned that some of the geochem work and field sampling is happening right now for that. Is that in like post MT delivered, or now subsequently following up with the MT results that you have preliminary, driving some of that targeted work in that area? What's going on there in the north?
Well, I mean, I'll address that. We had a soil geochem crew that was penciled in to go somewhere else, but we had them in there for a little while doing some preliminary contour sampling. That's not quite completed, partly because they are out on break right now and about to come back. So basically, the next couple of days, we'll have a couple more people heading back up there to complete that out. So the contour sampling is just following an elevation contour, up in the north there to try and pin, where's the best place in terms of soil geochem, where's the broadest sort of soil anomaly. So we can kind of focus in on that a little bit. Does that tie in with what we've seen, with the number of geological traverses we've done up there with geologists? So the soil geochem is being done by geology students. They have a bit of an eye for the rocks too, but we also have had a couple of geos up there for a number of days. I can't remember how many, and they went out. We're going to actually have someone doing a little honor thesis, a bachelor's thesis, a gal that's at UBC doing that. Just spending a few more days to kind of wrap that up, and then we'll refocus on that for this month and kind of make that a priority and tie everything together.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, and then preliminary results, you're still forecasting probably in a couple weeks, or what are we looking at there, Alex?
I think probably September, maybe. I'm kind of looking at things. So, well, never know when you might get pleasant surprises, but we'll see how she goes, right?
That's great. Yeah. Okay. And then, let's bring up this 3D model there. Do you have that available, Alex? I think it'd be great to have a showcase of that. And then, by all means, please spin it through, because I spent some time with it.
I turn myself off every time I flip it. It turns starts talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of irritating. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's up now.
Yeah, so I mean, here's just a visualization of historical drill holes that we covered up here. I mean, these are the holes we completed to date. This is the hole we're working on out in here. So this is our kind of our cartoon wireframe to start with, subject to change, obviously. But you can kind of see where we're kind of drilling into. We're looking for the down dip extension. And basically a lot of the holes, it does look like they might have been drilled. So that's why they're in and out. So I think our thesis is holding control. So we haven't changed this wireframing for what we've seen so far. Obviously it's waiting on, so this is quite cartoony. But, it does show these features coming through. I mean, we have a step out off this. This is hole 23, 24, 25. We stepped off to the southeast, and then we stepped off again. And then we're actually probably going to put another hole back over here. And if we're going to come up here, we're going to step up over in here and drill quite a ways back down behind it. So we're actually stepped off quite a bit to the north. I mean, we'll just put it in plan view here. We're kind of stepping off. Let me just push the button here. That doesn't work. So we're pretty well stepping quite a bit to the northeast here, and then drilling back down underneath it and doing the fans underneath. So we actually are getting, and this was a fairly good size step out here, which is kind of interesting also.
That's great. Yeah, there's quite a bit of feature set you can manipulate on here. I saw there you have is it the per meter assay level, as well as you have the filtering capability?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, I haven't really expressed it that much, but here's some historical data. So if you actually click on the hole, it'll pull all the assay intervals up. So it kind of gives you the cold hard facts about it.
That's great. And then you mentioned it has the magnetic overlay on this one as well. Did you want to show that?
Yeah.
And then highlight some of the features there.
Sure. I mean, I just gotta quickly shut myself off here because I start talking automatically when you push the button, which is slightly irritating. But here's the magnetics here. So we see this actually this mag trend here, and that's kind of where things sit. And if we just flip it up on its side here, we see how that you kind of doesn't really work very well underneath, but you can kind of see that trend sitting right in there, right across. I
mean, put it north south. That'd be helpful.
Yeah,
too.
Sorry, just it's north south here.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. But you can kind of see this trend coming through here, and where we have these intense lows, it seems to be where we're getting decent mineralization. And you have these features tracking out this way, blowing up out here, and then tracking out to the southeast also.
I think it's important in that view. If you zoom in, look where all the almost all the historical holes are. They're kind of on the edge of that, right? And our holes are stepped back up the hill a little bit not great exposure there, drilling through the granite that's actually older and kind of pushed up over the system. And so that's an important observation. And you can see where the mag low is, that seems to track nicely with the min. I mean, most of the older holes are drilled right on the margin of that and drilled kind of down and along a northeast dipping system. So the upper right hand side of the image, and that system is a broad system that has low grade over tens of meters, sometimes almost 100 meters, and you have highs within that. So really you'd like to drill across that, and most of these holes, or many of the Newmont holes and some of our older holes, were drilled down along that. So it's nice to have this framework that seems to be holding together. And but again, let's stick to where the goodies are. Let's not jump out too fast. Let's stick to the plan and prove up the thesis, and we'll take her from there.
And one nice thing, actually, I'll just mention, basically in preliminary review of the mobile MT, when you actually look at it, you do see this very resistive cap rock. So you do see the fault in there quite nicely, actually. So it actually is imaging it very nicely. So we can track that. It's more of on a big system, larger scale, but it does seem to be corresponding quite well. And the resistivity low does track right through here. Unfortunately, their next update will have the resistivity in here, but not in this one.
Okay, yeah, something to look forward to. And then, yeah, looking in plan view here, you can see you've got it detailed the next pad location. And then is the next pads or subsequent pads, are you looking at going southeast, stepping south, or are you looking to track it further north?
It'll be right up in this neck of the woods here.
Okay, great. Yeah. Awesome.
So we're definitely stepping it back. I mean, there's drilling going to the drill to the northeast in these areas, but like I said, Charlie was saying, it doesn't necessarily pick it up. So when we drill back onto it, it actually does seem to help quite a bit with understanding of the geology.
Yeah, and it is a little bit complex. Like the rocks to the northeast are actually older. They're pushed up on the younger rocks, and it really is just that structure is probably following a zone of weakness, and is a younger structure, bringing the old rocks on top. So it's kind of complicated, but really it's sort of simpler. It's just simple. It's following a nice extensional structure. Epithermal systems, whether they're epithermal or mesothermal, they're extensional systems, not compressional. And so that's where kind of some of the confusion lies. If you've got an older rock on a younger, that's a compressional system. But often those compressional systems, they reactivate a zone of weakness. And a zone of weakness is, where things cracked. And that's where the veining, et cetera, comes in. I think, that's the way I view it anyway. And I think it's pretty logical.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Well, that covers a lot of what we saw in the update here, and you've provided some guidance on. So after the drill program wraps up for the season, is there going to be any further field work extended into this season, or how long are you guys looking to field this year?
We'll probably run the program out till the snow flies. We'll probably we'll keep the camp running probably till the end of August. We'll probably get the drill might depart before then, but we'll do some work in the north there. We're still trying to get some geophysics done on the northern part of the property. We are permitted for that, but we're just everything's kind of crazy right now. So just allocating people.
Yeah. And that part of that is, is okay, let's validate this stream sediment geochemistry. I think we've done that. More or less, and get a little bit more geology and a little bit more soil geochemistry up in the north that we can follow up. And again, with that, we're using the XRF on the soil bags. We don't have to wait for assays to come back to get copper numbers. So, we can move fairly quickly on that, but we would like to have a really nice framework up there for perhaps next year's drilling. And how do we get to that? Well, where is the high soil geochemistry? How does that look with respect to the rocks? And where do we place some more detailed geophysics? Like Alex says, we've got permitted for IP. Let's do that, and then come up with a nice story for heading into the off season.
Yeah, basically the idea is to just do it systematically. There's no point in running around just chasing your tail. That's just systematic. Do the work in the ground, follow the procedures, and basically get it done and make it work.
Yeah, so on that note, though, is there going to be an IP series of lines being run in the north this year? Is that something that's in the cards for this season, or is that next year?
We're going to try to, yeah, absolutely.
And try to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. Well, right on. Well, yeah, lots.
Charlie's offered to help do IP, so it's all good.
Yeah.
That's the line.
I might be the guy turning the thing on and off.
Switch. That's an important job too.
Yeah,
Right on,
exactly.
Unless you want to come up, Nate, you can help out too.
Oh, yeah, squeeze it in. A little two to go visit. Well, thanks for the time today, guys. Yeah, so that's Alex Walcott, CEO of EVER.V, and Charlie Gregg there, the chairman, making time for an update after that news release. Looking forward to the next one, guys. So with that, unless you have anything else, I'll look to sign off.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Nate.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks for having us, Nate. Always fun. Cheers.